a human reflection in an automated world. Drivers, we live in a time where machines are rising fast, efficient, tireless, and unbothered. They're in your pocket, making your coffee, and even driving cars down the street. It's like we woke up one day and the future we saw in cartoons is suddenly our morning commute. And these machines, they don't just exist, they work. They work faster than us, longer than us. And they never ask for a bathroom break or complain about a supervisor watching over their shoulder. It's a quiet revolution, happening not with loud explosions but with the soft hum of servers and the gentle whir of robotic arms. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's now science fact. Think about the places where people used to build things, factories humming with human energy. Now many of those sounds are changing. Take a company like Coca-Cola, a major industry player that has started now outsourcing a large part of their operations. Outsourcing to companies that use automation to streamline their operations, which is a fancy way of saying they use more machines and in some cases fewer people. When a factory closes or downsizes because robots can now do the work of 100 people, it sends a ripple through the whole community. It's not just one person losing a job. It's a town losing its heartbeat, a local diner losing its lunch rush, and a generation wondering what their future looks like. This isn't just about one company or one factory. It's a story we're seeing all over the world. Automation is the new superstar employee that every company wants to hire. It promises efficiency, it promises perfection, and it never needs a day off. For a business, that's a dream come true. But for the people whose hands used to do that work, it can feel like a nightmare. They are told that progress is inevitable, that this is just the way the world is moving. But that doesn't make it any easier when you're the one being told your skills are no longer needed, replaced by a circuit board and some code. So we find ourselves in this strange new world, where progress moves at the speed of light. But people are struggling to keep up. The promise was that technology would make our lives easier, and in many ways, it has. We can order anything we want from our couch and talk to someone on the other side of the planet instantly. But there's another side to that coin. The same technology that connects us can also create distance, pushing people out of the very systems they helped build. The question isn't whether machines are amazing, they are. The real question is, as they rise, are we making sure we don't leave our fellow humans behind? Here's the thing about a machine. It doesn't have feelings. You can yell at your laptop all you want when it freezes, but it's not going to feel bad. A robot on an assembly line doesn't worry about paying its mortgage. It doesn't feel a sense of pride when it perfectly places a cap on a bottle, and it certainly doesn't feel a pit in its stomach when it hears rumors of layoffs. Its world is binary, ones and zeros, on and off, task complete or task failed. There is no space in its programming for joy, fear, or the quiet anxiety of wondering if you're doing enough to provide for your family. People, on the other hand, are basically walking bundles of feelings held together by skin and bones. We are not binary. A job is never just a job. It's a source of income, yes, but it's also a source of identity, a community, and a reason to get up in the morning. When that is taken away, it's not a simple calculation of lost wages. It's a blow to your self-worth. It's the stress that keeps you up at night, the worry that furrows your brow, and the sadness that can settle deep in your chest. These are the things that a spreadsheet can never capture, the human cost that doesn't show up on a company's profit and loss statement. Think about the emotional fallout. When a factory closes, a machine doesn't have to break the news to its kids. A person does. A machine doesn't have to face the shame or embarrassment of asking for help. A person does. We are social creatures who thrive on connection and purpose. Our work gives us that. It gives us colleagues who become friends, a routine that provides stability, and a sense of contributing to something larger than ourselves. When automation removes that, it leaves a void that can't be filled with a software update or a new piece of hardware. It's a human problem that requires a human solution. So while we celebrate the incredible efficiency of machines, we have to remember this fundamental difference. A company can replace a worker with a robot and see its productivity go up, but it has to understand that it's not just swapping one tool for another. It's removing a person from an ecosystem, a person with hopes, dreams, and a family that depends on them. The machine feels nothing about this transaction, but the person and the community around them feels everything. And ignoring those feelings is where the real danger lies, far more than any fear of a robot uprising. Let's be clear about something very important. The machines are not the bad guys in this story. A robot is just a tool. It's a really, really smart hammer. But it's still just a hammer. It doesn't wake up in the morning with an evil plan to steal your job. It doesn't have a secret agenda or a tiny, villainous mustache. The robot is simply doing what it was programmed to do. It's neutral. It has no morality, no sense of good or bad. It just follows instructions. So, if we're looking for someone to blame, pointing a finger at a piece of metal and wiring is missing the entire point. The real conversation we need to have is about how these tools are being used and by whom. The decisions to automate, to downsize a workforce, to close a factory, those are human decisions. They are made by people in boardrooms, people looking at charts and numbers, people whose job it is to maximize profit for shareholders. And while that makes sense from a business perspective, it can have devastating consequences for workers and their communities if it's done without care or foresight. The problem isn't the technology itself. It's the strategy behind its implementation. When a company brings in automation, it's often celebrated as innovation and progress. And for the company, the benefits are clear lower costs, higher output, and a competitive edge. But what about the community that relied on that company for jobs? When those jobs disappear overnight, the local economy takes a hit. Small businesses that serve the factory workers suffer. Families may have to move away, schools may see their funding drop, and the entire social fabric of a town can start to unravel. The gains for the company are concentrated, but the pain is distributed across an entire community that had no say in the decision. This is where the responsibility comes in. We can't stop technology. Trying to do so would be like trying to stop the tide with a bucket. But we can guide it. We can insist that companies who benefit from automation also invest in the people and places affected by it. The issue is not one of technology versus humanity, but of profit versus people. The machines are just following their programming. The real question is about our own programming. What are our values? Do we prioritize efficiency above all else, or do we believe we have a responsibility to care for one another through these massive changes? So if the robots aren't going away and we don't want them to, what do? We can't just sit back and watch as jobs disappear, shrugging our shoulders and saying, well, that's progress for you. That's not a plan. That's a surrender. The goal shouldn't be to stop the machines, but to make them work for us, all of us, not just the people who own them. The future doesn't have to be a competition between humans and machines. It can be a collaboration, a partnership. Think of it like a buddy cop movie, where the human is the one with the gut feelings and the robot is the one who can calculate the trajectory of a speeding car in 0.2 seconds. This means we need to get serious about preparing people for this new world. If automation is making some jobs obsolete, then we have a collective responsibility to help people train for the jobs of the future. This means investing in education and retraining programs that are accessible and affordable. It means creating pathways for a factory worker to become a robot technician, or for a truck driver to learn the logistics of managing a fleet of autonomous vehicles. We need to see people as our most valuable resource, one worth investing in, rather than a cost to be cut. Support shouldn't be an afterthought. It should be part of the plan from day one. Furthermore, companies that reap huge financial rewards from automation should contribute to the solution. This could mean funding community transition programs, partnering with local colleges to develop new skills, or even providing a safety net for workers as they navigate this change. The idea that a company can take all the profits from automation and bear none of the social cost is simply not sustainable. True progress is when the benefits are shared, not hoarded. It's about building a system where technology serves humanity, creating new opportunities as it closes old doors, ensuring that the rising tide of technology lifts all boats, not just the yachts. In the end, this whole debate isn't really about machines at all. It's about us. It's about the kind of society we want to live in. Do we want a world where efficiency is the only thing that matters? Or do we want one built on fairness, empathy, and mutual respect? The robots are here to stay, and they will only get smarter and more capable. But they will never have what makes us human, our ability to care for each other. That's our job, and it's one that can never be automated. The future is in our hands, not the machines, and it's up to us to build one that has room for everyone.